every weekend football matches will be recorded. But in MBC, Manchester United as a football club, Manchester United, we've all noticed that they have really fallen off from a top club. I mean, over the years, it's been more than 5 seasons now, and Manchester United, as a club, have still not found their feet as a football club. In fact, they've spent a lot. They've changed managers over managers after Sir Alex Ferguson, and still their problems persist as a football club. And this is a major cause for concern for all my United fans. In fact, this weekend we saw the loss at home against West Ham. West Ham as a football club this season have been really poor, but they scored 2 goals against Manchester United at home at Old Trafford. And then now West Ham is on the 15th position of the league table, and Manchester United sit on the 16th position on the league table with 40 points and 39 points respectively. Now, this goes on to tell you that it's only Tottenham Hotspurs who sit 17th on the table with 38 points. They are not far from the relegation zone. Of course, like they've secured their their way into next season by not being relegated. But this club is doing really poor. Now let's talk about Ruben Amorim. Amorim as a coach at Sporting was doing an amazing job. In fact, he did an excellent job with the boys at Sporting. And for those who followed Sporting Football Club, they play fast-paced football, pressing, and in fact, they had all the materials or the players available to play that system. Now, Eric Ten Hag was seen as a failure at Manchester United, having spent all these monies, you know. So they contracted Ruben Amorim to come mid-season. Now, let me remind you, Ruben Amorim from Sporting Lisbon or from Lisbon to Manchester was one of the highest tracked airlines in history. One of them. In fact, Man U fans were tracking his flight from Lisbon to Manchester. We are all happy that Ruben Amorim is come to do magic at Manchester United. Now let's look at the figures since he arrived. Ruben Amorim, since he arrived halfway into the season at Manchester United, has played 25 EPL games. With these 25 EPL games, he has won only 6. He has drawn 6 and he has lost 13. I wouldn't really blame Amorim this much. I wouldn't really rate his half season because he took this team halfway. Now, this is the same team Eric Ten Hag was with that he got sacked. I would say that I'll give Amorim the threshold because he hasn't gotten his signings. I mean, the players he's asked for, they've not bought them for him. So maybe I'll rate or maybe score Amorim next season when he has a full season as a coach at Manchester United. Now let's look at the figures again. Last season, after the whole campaign, Manchester United played 38 games in the EPL. They won 18 games, they lost 14, and they scored 57 goals, and they conceded 58 goals, and they kept only 9 clean sheets. This season in the EPL campaign, under Amorim and also Eric Ten Hag, I mean, they both had half seasons. Now, Man U have played 36 games, they've won 10, they've lost 17, they've scored only 42 goals and conceded 53 goals as a football club. And they kept 9 clean sheets with the same keeper, Onana. So last season, he kept 9 clean sheets, and this season, too, 9 clean sheets with 2 more games to go. Now, I would say that Manchester United as a club is still struggling and will continue to struggle if they don't really put the pieces together. Now, most of these players at the club need to be sacked. The problem is now the financial situation of Manchester United is really tight. They are not broke. Yes, they're not broke. I'm not saying they are broke, but they are a bit tight because they are facing EPL sustainability rules and what have you. And now they have to sell players to buy players. That is it. Now, how many of these players can they offload as a football club? because most of these players are chaff. To be honest with you, most of United players are chaff, and they are on high wages. That is the problem. They are on high wages, and most clubs wouldn't take these players on to pay those wages. So it's either going to be loan to win the season loan, and even that they have to have an agreement with other clubs to take half or pay part of the wages for these players, or maybe they have to cancel some contracts and let them go for free, maybe, which will be a loss to the club. But they will look to maximize at least a bit of profit out of these players to get some players coming in. So the situation at Manchester United is really terrible, and it's a whole big structural issue. It's something that we need to dive really deep in to talk about. And I think we have to make a full video about that, and I'll give you all the breakdown in terms of their finances, the structure of the club. I mean, everything. Then we can understand this problem really well as football fans. I'll leave it here, guys, and we'll continue next time.